Okay, Likutei Halachot, we are holding by Seif Chaf. So as we said that it is Dafka al-Yedei Mitzvah Spora Aduma. על-ידי, אנחנו מקליטים את זה פשוט. וזה עולה לאינטרנט אחר כך. So, there's mitzvah para that has an inner contradiction. There's a paradox. Mitzvah para adumo, it purifies those who are defiled in tumas mes, but the one who is pure, that is doing the action of hazah, he becomes tama. So how can the same agent make that which is tama tar and that which is tar tama? This is something that Shlomo Melech says, Amalti ech kemo. It says about Shlomo Melech, Vayechka mikol adam, he's the wisest of all men. So in Ka'elis he says, Amalti ech kemo, I've said, I've wizened, v'yiroicha kemo, meaning when he wanted to understand the side of Para Adumo, he said, I thought that I was wise, but I see that the wisdom is really, really far from me. The true wisdom. That kind of inner contradiction is where the two afachim, the two opposites become one. This is the mati velo mati. Mati velo mati is not two situations. Mati velo mati is one situation that includes in the two contradictions. This is like Pchinat Shamayim, which is Esh and Maim. Esh and Maim, fire and water, contradict one another. So Oise Shalom Imraimov, the Indian of Shalom, Kodesh Baruch Hu makes two contradictions come together. The side of all the kashas, of all the contradictions, of all the paradoxes, all these things that us in human logic and human faculties cannot reconcile, they stem from this union of Roidef and the Me'akev, that on one hand there's a surge to know more, and on the other hand there is a block to stop you from going ahead. And it is the mishkal, it is the two, the exact measurement and weighing, how much to push and how much to hold back, that is the shleimus. This is the asuga of the nine echalim. That's why this is the thing that saves us for tumas mes, because tumas mes is the apikorsis, is the philosophers that feel that they have to question anything. They don't realize that without discipline, there's no advancement. There's no productive advancement. You're just going all over the place. You're not getting anywhere. And the conclusions that you come up with aren't worth the paper they're written on, because they're based on false. There is no discipline. That's why when you see any kind of human endeavor that has to produce results, it always has parameters that it has to abide by. There's always a discipline. There are things that you can do and things that you can't do. There has to be that way. You can't just do anything you want. You can't say I invented a medicine that does this and this without it standing to parameters, what it can do, what it cannot do. What are the side effects? It's very, very nice that it does what you say that it does. but at what cost? What else does it do? You know, you can't just run through the door and say, Eureka, I got it. So this kind of balancing act between innovation and discipline, inside the secret, inside it is that because at the root of the Seichel Amiti, the discipline and the innovation are one thing. It's P'chinas Mati v'lo Mati. And that's why, and the Sitra de Moisa is when there is no blockage. There's no discipline. There's no harness. Just move ahead. Everything goes. That is the thing that becomes, that's the mother of all heresy. That's the Sitra de Moisa. Even Begashmias, it says, as David HaMelech says in this Mizmor, that in the Psalm where he praises all the deeds of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything he does, and this and that, and he says, you created these animals, and this and that, and he says, Tosef Rucham, you add onto their spirit, Yigvayon, and they die. What do you mean? Supposedly, you take away their spirit and they die. What do you mean you add on Tosef Rucham Yigvayon? Only the thing is that any existence, any living existence, any kind of living existence, be it animal, be it a human being, whatever it is a delicate, it's a delicate balancing act between, you know, how much to add and how much to subtract. It all comes from the shayrish, that basically the world exists on חברים, טיפה, אם אפשר להשקיט את יהודה, אם אתם יכולים טיפה להוריד, שקר. The balancing act of the human existence is the root of Mati velo Mati, is the existence of the two basic names which we call HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of them, you know, which we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu as. One of them, the main one, is Yud Kei Vav Kei. But that's a name that we don't pronounce. The other name, which is the name that we pronounce, is Aleph Daled Nun Yud. Okay, what's the difference between Shem Havaya Baruch Hu and Shem Adnis Baruch Hu? Shem Havaya Keviyochel speaks about the Kodesh Baruch Hu himself. We don't know anything about him except the fact that he is, that he was, and that he will be. That's it. That's the only thing we know about it. So Shem Havaya is built out of a conjugation of all past, present, and future terms. It's Hoya, Hoive, Ve'yeh. This is talking about Kiviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, to the degree that we can't talk about him. That's why it's called the Shem Etzem. It's called the name of the essence, because it talks about the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the best of our ability. Shem Adnos doesn't talk about, you know, who or what the Kadosh Baruch Hu is. It talks about his job description. The fact that he's an Odom, he's a master, he's a Lord. It talks about his role vis-a-vis us. He is our Odoi. So this doesn't talk about the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He talks about the title of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he's a master. So this one is called Shem HaKinui, the name of the title. One of them is the name of the essence. The other one is the name of the title. The name of the essence is basically the spigot that opens up a lakus. It brings down the juice, the electricity. The lakus comes into the world. That's the thing that gives chayas to the world. That's the thing that injects isness to reality. Physical, spiritual, anything you want. Shem Adnos says absolutely nothing about the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He only talks about he's the boss, his title. Shem Adnei is a valve that closes the flow of revelation of Elokus. It has to be. Because if it was only Shem Havayid, nothing would exist. The light is so, the Kodesh Baruch Hu is omnipresence. There's nothing about a Kodesh Baruch Hu. So unless that fact is hidden, nothing can exist. So there has to be, and how much there's going to be? Very much like when you're feeding a bottle to a month-old baby. The nipple is almost completely closed. There's only a little hole in it that allows a trickle of milk to go through, because the capacity of the baby to contain, that's it. If you give him any more, just choke him, you just kill him, chas v'chalila. That balance of Shem Etzem and Shem Kinui is the shirish of the Roidef and the Ma'akev. The Roidef, but over here now we're talking about from above down, not from down up. Here the Roidef, the influx is Shem Havaya, Shem Ha'etzem, and the Ma'akev, the regulator, is Shem Adnei. And there have to be a very, very, very specific balance, because there's a limit to how much physical reality can take of Elokus without just, when you take a candle and bring it to a big flame, it just disappears. It just jumps into the flame and disappears. So what happens is that Arizal explains that when a Kadosh Baruch Hu, in the very, very beginning, first of all, he created a void. It's called Chal Apaim. That particular void is a hastara, basically. It's a concealment from our side that really is nothing except a Kadosh Baruch Hu. There's no other reality. Without that, nothing can exist. We still have to understand that this is only from our point of view. From a Kodesh Baruch Hu's point of view, there's no Chol Upon it, there's no nothing, it's only Hashem. From our point of view, there's a star. Now, if a Kodesh Baruch Hu is hidden, nothing can exist. If you try to feed the baby with a closed nipple, the baby will die of starvation. So Rizal says that the Kodesh Baruch Hu was Moishech, where he drew in a light, which is called Or Hakav, the light of the line, just a line of godliness. We use the term light because that's the most sublime Gashmias thing that we can call. That's why we call it a light, but there's no words for it. And it's just a line. Again, the fact that it's a line is also a mashal. What is a line a mashal to? It's a mashal. What is a line? A line is something that has length. Mathematically, geometrically, it has a length, but it doesn't have any width. Right? It's like a dot is something that has no width and has no length. It's just an agreed upon concept that this is where whatever is. But a line is when from the Nekuda you go on, but it has no width. So we get a certain aspect of a Lakus that has length. It comes down, but it has no width. It blocks out practically everything, just a little bit so that the baby, the Bria, can exist, and everything afterward is created through it. So the same thing when a person is born from a conjugation of his father and his mother. The father is giving all the white substances in the body, like the bones or whatever it is. The substance that the father gives to the whole process is white. This is a representation, a trickle down, a manifestation of Shem Havaya Baruch Hu. The mother gives her part in it. The color is red of the eggs in the womb. It's red. They're red. The mother gives. This signifies Hashem Adnos. Adnos, red is Gvuros. From the mother comes all the red parts of the body, all the muscles, all the Averim, whatever it is, all comes from Shem Kinui. Now a person is all the time a very careful balance between Shem Havaya and Shem Kinui. You know, there is Chayas Lakus coming to him from Shem Etzem, and there is Shem Adnus that keeps it in check so there isn't too much. Because the minute there is too much, the whole thing cancels out. Now, when Adam HaRishon ate from Etz Hadas Tov Hara, he spoiled the balance. What he did was, he breached the Shem Adnos, he breached the regulator, and he went to where he was not supposed to go. Mimela, automatically, why did he do it? He did it because that was his taiva. That was, from Shem Adnos. Well, that immediately brings about a rebalancing act, which is an influx of Shem Havaya. The minute there's overflow of Shem Havaya, the connection between the body and the spirit stops. Because the soul is too much, the aura is too much for the body to sustain. That's why when Adam HaRishon made the Chet, the immediate result was death. The body and the soul cannot withstand, because he interrupted the balance. It has to rebalance, which means overflow of Shem Havaya. That's why it says, Toisef Rucham. You add more, Vigvayon, immediately death is the immediate result. When a person does an Aveira, and a person, oversteps the blocking mechanism and disrupts the balance, he causes a rebalancing, a corrective action, which is an overflow of Shem Havaya Baruch Hu, the Shem Etzem, and the result is death. That's why the Mechakrim, which disregard the boundaries, are called Sitra D'Maisa. That's the side of death. They bring about death. That is also the reason why when you call a person to the Torah, you want to add on to him, a person is healthy, Baruch Hashem, you want to add on to him the Ha'ora from Shem Havaya Baruch Hu, so it'll be more successful, more kodesh, so you call the name of the father. However, when you make a mishaberach to somebody who is not well, you do the name of the mother. Why? Because you want to strengthen the Shem Adnos. So it shouldn't be an overexposure of Shem Havaya Baruch Hu, so then the person will continue to live. Okay? So it's dafka l'dei mitzvah spara when we says we don't understand. This contradiction we don't understand. That is when we accept upon ourselves that the real balance of the contradiction comes because at the root they're both one. The influx and the blockage are both one. And when we disregard this is when the Sita de Moisa comes. That's the mitzvah spara. Ad kan for today.